It's unclear what South Africa's gun laws are, but one man's firearm proved useful during a botched armed robbery. In this footage, a white vehicle pulls up in front of two men, and then a man in yellow gets out of the car and approaches one of them with a gun in hand. To the robber's surprise, the victim was also armed, and he quickly opened fire, making both the driver and the armed robber in yellow flee for their lives. In Hatfield, Pretoria, a student collecting her Uber Eats order found herself in the crosshairs of a brazen cell phone snatcher. The incident unfolds quickly as the thief targets her device. But in a surprising twist, the student's quick reflexes leave the criminal empty-handed, though not without minor injuries from the scuffle.
No. He said I just stood out.
Interestingly, a driver exiting a shop was ambushed in a terrifying carjacking attempt. The criminals, armed and relentless, quickly ambush the driver, leaving him no time to react.
And then they pull up over the fast car. Yeah? It's a new one. Probably also a fucking stolen vehicle.
We wait for him to come out first.
It's bad, bro.
The chaos and fear are evident as the footage reveals the harrowing ordeal.
Check this one.
He's the one who says go press the panic button. He didn't want to panic because you see there's guns there.
Quite nerve-wracking. If you love movies, well, this is like one. You see, the Pretoria N4 highway became the stage for a high-stakes attempted robbery and murder. The victim, who had just withdrawn a large sum of money, was followed and targeted in a carefully orchestrated heist. The assailants unleashed a flurry of violence in their desperate bid for cash. The situation was intense and reckless of the criminals, showing the extremes they'll go to. Now, in this dramatic scene, a van carrying cash is ambushed by heavily armed robbers. The robbers rain bullets at the truck, trying to force the vehicle to stop. But the driver, who is a trained member of the armed forces, keeps his cool under pressure.
This gun?
tense moments captured by the dash cam show the van weaving through danger as the driver expertly evades the robbers, ensuring the safety of both the cash and his crew. In this video, a customer who was by a DVS office door was so terrified that he fled for cover when they saw some people approaching the door. His fear was justified when an armed man and 3 men stepped into the office, immediately instructed everyone to lay on the floor, and they started searching their victims. Soon, the robbers started dispossessing the terrified people, snatching phones and even a plasma TV before exiting. In this unfortunate video from Port Elizabeth, South Africa, after these armed robbers took out a driver, they went on to hijack his vehicle. Luckily, law enforcers were able to get the face of one of the assailants as a passenger bravely recorded them. Normally, in robbery cases, the security guards are the first to get attacked, and this case was no exception. Just before the storm, he was unaware of the chaos coming as he was handling stashed cash, and then someone shot at him. Luckily, his armored vest saved him. Quickly processing what was happening, the guard returned fire at another robber before managing to escape. A rifle-wielding robber quickly made way with the stashes. Just outside Vannon Court in Hillbrew, a Johannesburg CCTV camera captured 2 suspicious-looking men. It was clear that they were up to no good as they kept on looking back at the camera. The boys finally showed their intent when they attacked an unknowing passerby, extorted the person, and then went into hiding in Vannon Court. On August 10, 2014, a gang of heavily armed robbers attacked a petrol station in Olivenhout-Bosch outside Pretoria. As captured on CCTV cameras, a customer was by his vehicle when a white sedan sped into the station, and then the robber alighted and took him hostage as they headed for the grocery store. The moment the saleswoman noticed what was going on, she tried hiding under the counter while the robbers made all the customers lay on the floor. They then progressed to using a bar to break into the safe just under the counter. When the safe refused to budge, the robber inserted an explosive, which immediately forced the safe open. Then they scavenged what they could. Thinking that the robbers were gone, some of the hostages got on their feet, but then immediately dove back to the floor as the robbers made a round back with bags to pack more contents from the safe before their getaway. In this horrifying video, the armed robberies already toppled the bullion van, then placed explosives, and just as they had planned, after the explosion, they emptied the van. 5 men stormed a jewelry store in Hillcrest, Durban, catching everyone off guard. The staff were busy with their daily routines when 2 men entered, pretending to be regular customers. One even acted like he was having an important phone call. Suddenly, they sprang into action. The man with the phone opened his bag, and the others started grabbing jewelry and tossing it inside. A third man rushed in, likely after handling something outside, while another robber in blue forced the security guard inside and tied him to the door. Their plan went smoothly. One of them carried a hammer, ready to break any glass cases that didn't open easily. After stealing as much as they could, they walked out calmly, just as they had entered. Only after they left was the guard untied, but by then the damage was done. In Hillbrow, Johannesburg, a man was walking by the roadside when he noticed a young guy running towards him. Just before he could react, 3 other guys came from behind to pin him down. As the robbers got him to the floor, one began striking him as they stripped him of his belongings. Once they were done, they walked away as if they had done nothing. Even thieves can become victims themselves. In this clip, shared by the Intelligence Bureau of South Africa, a man was seen robbing a store clerk at gunpoint while quickly filling his bag with cash. The terrified clerk stayed low behind the counter, keeping out of harm's way while keeping an eye on the scene. Meanwhile, another man quietly crawled into view, snatching up some fallen cash without being noticed. He slipped away just as stealthily, leaving the armed robber completely unaware of what had happened. On Annandale Street, Sophiatown, two guys and two ladies were walking along a lonely street while a vehicle drove past the guys. Initially, one would not suspect anything, but then the men whipped out pocket knives, threatening the ladies. The lady, who was on a call earlier, threw her phone towards her friend, who had broken away from the guys, but because she was scared, she did not pick it. The thieves got the phone and then ran into the vehicle from earlier. This video shows a bold robbery at a busy intersection in Santon, Johannesburg. A stopped car became the target of criminals waiting nearby. The robbers got out of their car, which was parked in the next lane, and quickly approached the driver.
Are they robbing?
Just take a picture, please. Take pictures.
Yeah, I've got it.
They wasted no time grabbing the driver's valuables and taking whatever they could before running back to their car and speeding away. The driver stayed in their car, not moving or reacting, possibly frozen in fear or shock. It's unclear if the driver was hurt, but their silence and stillness showed just how shaken they were. The robbers vanished as quickly as they appeared, leaving behind a terrified victim.
There they go.
The guy just fell. No number plates.
Ever heard of the phrase, marry your best friend? Well, these two took it seriously. Can you imagine they worked together to pickpocket a shopper? This woman in white appeared to have sported a high-value target and quickly called her assailant to help. While pretending to browse items, they stole a phone from a woman's pocket as her husband stood just behind her, unaware of the crime. The precision and detail of the theft were chilling, proving that even mundane activities like grocery shopping aren't safe from opportunistic criminals. In Paro, Western Cape, a brazen cell phone thief thought he had the upper hand, robbing a customer inside a Spar supermarket. However, what he did not calculate for was that there were other people in the supermarket who were faster than he was. In one sweeping move, the thief was sent tumbling on the floor as he tried to escape, giving the guards enough time to close the doors of the supermarket and apprehend him. At a stop in Groblersdal, Limpopo, a driver fell victim to a swift and calculated snatch and grab.
ufuna ukufa ngawo.
It was simple. The thief approached the car, snatched the driver's phone through the open window, and disappeared into the bustling streets before anyone could react. It was at Florida Junction in Rudaport, where a woman became the target of a brazen theft in broad daylight. As she walked through a parking lot, a thief snatched her phone, sending her tumbling to the ground as he jumped into a getaway car.
Okay. Puts it in a bag.
In a scene straight out of a heist movie, two women recorded a dramatic cash-in-transit robbery.
Fire, John! Fire! 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 Fire!
My sister, drive away. Can we go?
Zuma! Zuma, John! Zuma!
Using mining explosives, the robbers blew open an armored van, gaining access to its contents with chilling efficiency. Operating as though rehearsed 100 times, the criminals moved quickly, escaping with a massive sum of cash.
Let's see. GD6.
I knew something bad was going to happen.
Yo!
A CCTV camera in Johannesburg captured a quick-thinking Porsche driver escaping from carjackers who tried to steal his car. The white Porsche was driving calmly when a silver sedan suddenly overtook it and stopped a short distance ahead. A man got out of the sedan with a gun, clearly targeting the Porsche. The Porsche driver noticed the danger and immediately reversed back onto the road. Acting fast, he sped past the silver sedan, leaving the carjackers confused and far behind in a cloud of dust. Anyone in the vehicle with the camera lady will definitely be frustrated, as the woman made it her duty to show the world what was happening. In the video, heavily armed robbers had accosted an armed bullion van and placed mine explosives in it to force open the vehicle. 7-8-91236.
Fire, John! Fire! 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 Fire!
My sister, drive away. Can we go?
Zuma! Zuma, John!
The Big Bang dorsed the bullion van open and the robbers carted away with their loot. Meanwhile, the van, which was already on fire, exploded again.
My sister, can we go?
I get some what if Corona and
Hey, Mama!
I get a little bit step. Tommy, Tuta, fala le mani. Asa pele le mati ke ba go bona. Kela! Kela!
Jesus nkulunkulu God.
What's my game? What's my game?
Ka baki ki ye white.
Le koloi ke le white.
Tigwan.
Tigwan. Le ve baki ke le ya tsama. E sa butse monyako.
Let's see.
GD6.
I knew something bad was going to happen.
Yo! Yo! Mama!
Oh my gosh. I'm even shaking.
No, I'm not shaking. I want to see. Mama, my sister.
On September 7th, 2018, at a Shell garage on the corner of Gordon and Ondeckers Road in Johannesburg, a Fidelity cash van was parked outside. Security guards were waiting to load the cash into the van. Everything seemed normal until the man carrying the money approached the van. Just as he tried to open the door, a man in blue, who had been standing nearby, suddenly pulled out a gun and ran toward him. Within moments, more armed men appeared and joined in, successfully carrying out the robbery together. In this video, a man was innocently shopping and did not notice how he was gradually cornered by masked men who swiftly tackled him. It turned out that he was being monitored by 6 men who held him in a chokehold while they emptied his pockets. In broad daylight, a thief walked into an open compound, leaving the gate open behind him. He immediately pulled out a gun and demanded that the couple give him their valuables. Frightened, the couple handed over their phones and a purse. The thief began to leave but noticed another person nearby. He quickly turned back, pointed his gun at the new person, and made the same demands. After taking more items, he calmly walked away with everything he had stolen. In a roadside confrontation, a South African man delivered a swift dose of justice to a would-be robber. While calibrating his radio beside his van, the man was approached by a thug wielding a pistol. In an instant, the man smacked the robber with the radio, sending him sprawling onto the road. The humiliated thief scrambled to grab his gun and fled the scene in desperation. In Protea Glen, Soweto, at Hlalakamnandi Properties, a woman narrowly escaped an attempted carjacking. The suspects tried to smash her car window but failed. Seizing the moment, the woman drove into her complex, leaving the criminals empty-handed. A Renault Duster driver found himself in a tense situation as thieves approached to hijack his vehicle. In a bold move, the driver threw his car keys onto the roof of a nearby building. Confused and unable to proceed, the criminals assessed the situation and fled the scene, leaving the driver unharmed. In another harrowing incident, a South African man defended his family from a gang of carjackers with nothing but a knife. Charging at the attackers fearlessly, he intimidated them into retreating. The gang fled, realizing they had picked the wrong target. In Laudium, robbers executed another SBV cash heist, complete with gunfire and precision. The criminals rounded up the driver and escort, packing stolen cash into a getaway truck. Moving swiftly and methodically, they left the scene, showcasing just how organized such operations can be. 3 Spanish tourists were welcomed in the worst way into the country in Johannesburg. As the trio innocently walked through a street, 4 South African men who had been walking alongside then suddenly grabbed each of the tourists in chokeholds. As each tourist passed out, the criminals emptied their pockets and then walked away. Thankfully, no one was fatally injured. A dash cam recorded a failed robbery attempt that unfolded in seconds. What seemed like an ordinary day quickly turned tense when a man approached the car and reached for a weapon.
Who told you, Julie? Bella. She said she saw on the Facebook.
The driver refused to become a victim. Reacting quickly, they threw the car in reverse and sped backward to escape. But the robber wasn't ready to give up just yet.
What's up?
He tried running after the car, but it was a futile effort. No one outruns a vehicle. Realizing it was hopeless, he veered off into the bushes, leaving the robbery attempt a total failure. After being booked for a ride in Philippi, one of the most dangerous townships in Cape Town, Western Cape, this immigrant driver got first-hand experience of how dangerous his job was. On getting to the given location to pick his passenger, she told him that she wanted to board with other people, and the driver immediately told her that he was not comfortable with that.
Please, can we go, please? I'm not comfortable with this. We're taking 3 people.
While talking to the passenger, 2 men walked up to him from the driver's door and immediately collected his devices, and it seemed that they had left him go. Just when the driver was about to start his vehicle to leave, the robbers came back for more, even making him highlight from the vehicle for a thorough search. The man was able to recover his phone, but then the robber wanted more, and then empty his online accounts, snatched his phone, shoes and cap, but when they started assaulting him, he drove her away.
The pin for what? I call it pin. So I take man then. So I take them. Pin gun. No, I'm forgetting. So listen. This is the pin. It's legal gag 20. Legal gag 20. Legal gag. What do you mean? I can't hear you. But what did you say? Say again.
Just outside Pretoria, the aftermath of a cash-in-transit robbery took an unexpected turn. Locals swarmed the blown-up armored van, ignoring the security guards' desperate attempts to maintain control. Overwhelmed by the crowd, the guards could do little as the locals looted what remained. Unexpectedly, an e-hailing driver endured a terrifying ordeal at the hands of a group of teens. The young robbers cornered him, taking everything he had earned for the day, along with his phone.
Hey, you know, push.
Okay. Take your money. Whatever you take.
Give your
No worry. Take
my
money. No, my brother, no money. Here,
Give your money.
Here, take whatever. Take.
Which money?
No worry. No, I give everything. I give everything.
What's pin for phone?
I give everything.
What's your phone?
No, my
What's
brother.
the pin? What's the pin?
What's your
phone?
6413.
And what is in the boot?
Take it. Check.
What is open the boot? Open
I'm gonna open it.
You wanna die?
No, don't.
What do you have in your
Nothing.
Say.
If I have, I have.
Say.
My brother, if I
Say
have,
let me see.
nothing. Check. Take everything.
Their behavior was chillingly casual. They even asked if he was Muslim and greeted him after the attack.
Salam. You Muslim?
Yeah.
Salam. No stress, my guy, man.
The driver was left shaken, a victim of both violence and humiliation in this brutal encounter. After delivering a group of passengers, the driver stopped the car, only to be ambushed by the very people he had just served. The gang descended on him like a pack of wolves, stealing his phone and drenching him in pepper spray. Shaken and humiliated, the driver was left to pick up the pieces after this brutal ordeal. On Dumisani Makaye Highway near Kwamashu, Durban, a gang of armed teenagers set up a chilling ambush. Blocking the road, they opened fire on an approaching truck, forcing it to stop. The attackers surrounded the vehicle, dragging the driver and passenger out in a brutal display of dominance. They stole everything in sight, including the truck's load, and even attempted to snatch the dash cam, but couldn't get the storage device. You see, in a shocking incident, a Checkers 60 delivery driver was ambushed while waiting on his motorcycle at a delivery point. 3 armed men approached him and robbed him at gunpoint, taking the groceries he was set to deliver. The robbers had no idea what was in the packages because it could have been onions or just toilet paper, proving just how little these criminals care about the consequences of their actions. Caught on camera, 3 suspects cornered 2 unsuspecting victims in Hillbrow, Johannesburg. The robbers moved swiftly, snatching a cell phone and other belongings from one of the victims before attacking the second victim. The robbers then quickly descended on the second victim, who had been standing there helplessly, unable to rescue his friend. However, one of the perpetrators was arrested shortly after the incident, and the stolen cell phones were recovered. In Rustenburg, cell phone snatchers driving a VW Polo picked the wrong target. After snatching a phone from a child, the suspects attempted to flee, but a fearless civilian wasn't about to let them get away. They did the chase on the highway while coordinating with the police. Luckily, the dramatic pursuit ended with the suspects being stopped and arrested.
Yo, thank you. Yo, thank you very much. Nazo, siyabonga. Yo, yes, sis.
Yes, thank you.
Emela fale wapi?
Yeah, reme konani. Yeah, baba tswere, ba tlo ba tshwara, just now. Yeah.
Ke baba kholo. Ke bona ba.
Thank you. Yeah. Just now. Okay, thank you.
This thief didn't see it coming. After stealing a lady's phone, he dashed toward a getaway car. But the victim wasn't about to let him escape.
Flow, coming.
The thief tried to flee on foot, but the determined lady caught him and reclaimed her phone. It was a bad day at the office for this unlucky thief. Caught on camera in Braamfontein, Johannesburg, a phone snatcher's escape plan unraveled in a dramatic fashion. As he fled from a group of people, a security guard tackled him, sending him sprawling onto the road. Within seconds, a crowd gathered, ready to teach the thief a lesson he won't forget. In an interesting incident, a thief is seen marking his targets at a garage, carefully waiting for the perfect time. The moment came when the group of men in the garage became distracted while fixing a car. The thief quickly swooped in, snatched a phone, and vanished into a getaway car before anyone knew what exactly was going on. The robbery happened inside a foreign exchange office in Limpopo. A woman, visibly trembling, opened the door, allowing the robbers to confidently walk in as if they owned the place. A moment later, another robber entered, dragging someone who appeared to be the security guard. They went directly to the cash storage area. One robber carried a blue bag, while the other quickly filled it with money. No one tried to stop them during the entire incident. The security guards stayed flat on the ground and didn't move, while the robbers calmly left, just as casually as they had entered. This driver is probably one of the few luckiest drivers in South Africa. While driving, his dashcam captured the moment when armed robbers, who appeared from nowhere, fired shots at him, even shattering his truck's windows. Luckily, he was about to dodge their rounds. A man was peacefully strolling through Heathfield when everything suddenly took a turn for the worse. A bakkie pulled up, and 3 men quickly jumped out. They attacked the man without hesitation, taking his belongings and assaulting him. The entire incident played out with no one stepping in to help until it was all over. The crime rate in South Africa has become a serious concern, and it keeps getting worse. CCTV footage captured 3 men breaking into a house in Sonkring, Protea Heights, Brackenfell. At first, a middle-aged man wearing white gloves was seen peeking inside the house to ensure no one was home. He then returned with another man to search for a way to break in. Soon after, a third man joined them. Moments later, all 3 were seen running out of the house carrying stolen items. One of them even carried a large television. Despite being robbers, these men are real supporters of the South African rugby team. As the 2 men broke into the union office, the first thing they did was admire the World Cup that the nation's team had won in 2023 before beginning their operation. According to a police report, the thieves stole 5 signed Springbok jerseys and several laptops. Now, ever seen a home robbery unfold so casually that it almost seemed unreal? Well, these robbers drove into the property without hesitation, unfazed by the presence of the resident's dog, who offered no resistance. The driver even took the time to close the gate while the others ransacked the house. After loading stolen goods into the vehicle, the group drove off as calmly as they had arrived. In this incident, a gang targeted a small store in broad daylight. 2 men entered first, pretending to browse while assessing the situation. Once they confirmed the store owner was alone, they signaled the rest of the gang. The owner courageously tried to stop the robbery, even attempting to talk the thieves out of their actions. But the gang showed no mercy, ransacking the store for cash and what appeared to be a box of cigarettes before fleeing. At the Food Lovers Market in Stellenbosch, 3 suspects executed a well-coordinated theft. While 2 suspects pretended to shop, one snatched a laptop and discreetly handed it to a woman following closely behind.
So watch out. Watch out that guy. What is going? That lady, she pushed that guy. You see, she pushed that guy. Quickly give to her. Then
the woman then bolted from the store, leaving the others to check out as though nothing had happened.
They were blocking the trolley.
yeah, they blocking her.
Anyway.
At a Samsung store in Four Ways, over 12 armed criminals staged a daring robbery. The gang stormed the store and made off with cameras worth a staggering 12 million rands. As they left the parking lot, they fired shots to deter anyone from intervening. Thankfully, no injuries were reported, but the sheer scale of the heist left onlookers shaken. Lastly, we have an armed gang who executed a swift and terrifying robbery at an electronics store. Wearing face masks, they forced everyone in the store to lie face down and zip-tied them before looting the premises. The robbers then packed a van full of electronics and fled the scene without hesitation.